What is up, Entrepreneur DNA? Welcome back to another podcast. I have a good friend of mine here, excited to be doing this podcast because this man spent $60,000 to be a part of a mastermind that I run in the real estate space, and he doesn't even fucking do real estate. Mr. Jason Payne, what is happening, brother?
What up, dog?
Man, I'm excited you're here in Miami.
Dude, love it. Excited to be here.
Why the fuck did you spend $60,000 to be a part of a mastermind that you don't even do real estate with?
People, connections, relationships.
Okay.
Rub shoulders with people that I want to eventually do work with.
Yeah.
I might not do real estate right now, but I'm not going to not ever do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going deep with what I'm doing right now. Like, you should get in real estate and do this and that. I'm like, yes, but like, I hate people that have, oh yeah, I have this business and this business and this business and this, like, 8 of them, but none of them are a true vertical.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have these little 6 or 8 half-ass businesses that make you $500,000, $1 million a year, but they're literally like this little pussy, whatever you want to call this. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you know Tommy Mello, A1 Garage Doors?
No, I don't.
One of my good buddies, $220 million in a year in garage doors.
But I bet he's obsessive about garage doors and running that business.
Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't have shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
So you join this mastermind because you don't want shiny object syndrome, but you want the people in the room.
Yes.
That's everything. I'm about to give a speech, and I call it good to great. And the difference between good and great is people.
Everything comes down to relationships.
Yeah.
How'd you meet? How'd you get in that room? How'd you get that speech? How'd you get that podcast? How'd you do this? Somebody connected you, or you transacted with somebody, a person, in order to make that relationship happen, to make that deal happen.
You're in that seat right now on this podcast that will get 6 figures worth of views and hearing and YouTube and Instagram because of that mastermind.
100%.
And who knows how much revenue and business can come from that. You run a consulting business. You run a roofing business. You have a podcast yourself. What's your podcast?
Sexy Business Status.
Sexy Business Status. Go check out that podcast right now.
Yeah.
And you can find him, by the way, Jason the Roofer on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you follow my man. Let's talk about people, because this is the biggest thing. First of all, it's my superhuman power. You obviously have the same thing. You're charismatic. You're easygoing. Your business now is doing, $13 million a year, and it's because you believe in people.
100% from people.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Are you at a point where you can connect the dots of how much money you've generated from the handshakes, as our boy Bradley says, or from the people? Because I'm not. I can't define it, but I'll tell you it's a lot more than any dollar I've spent in marketing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's in the multi millions.
Yeah.
Like not even trying.
Yeah.
Because that one connection filled that room that closed 10, 20, 30 accounts at $15,000 a piece.
Yep.
Time, and then the compound relationships are compounding.
Yep.
That's why it's not transactional, transformational, and it's not a one night stand. It's a marriage. It's a long-term thing. As long as you nurture it, obviously, right? Because there's people like you and I met 2 years ago, and there's people that I met that day 2 years ago that I didn't stay in touch with, that I didn't, nurture the relationship. But fast forward 2 years, and you and I are here, type deal. And so, but the opportunities from that, and you never know who that person is connected to.
Of course.
It's crazy.
They don't need, one of the biggest lessons I learned is never judge a book by the cover. Meaning, if they, don't look the part, right? If they're not wearing the watches and the things, don't just judge that they don't know how to make money or they don't have money or any of those things.
Right.
And don't judge or don't put judgment on them because you don't know who they know. And you don't know when you go for that ask, they might have the one heavy hitter. We just did this right now, right before we started this podcast. I said, there's one human I want on this podcast. And literally the owner of the studio says, I'm going to introduce you to the guy right as I'm talking about it.
It's funny, you say never judge a book by its cover. The first person that came to my mind that spoke yesterday, Jesse Itzler.
Oh my God.
He looks like a freaking hobo.
Totally. 100%.
Literally, even yesterday, like 4,500 people on a stage and he's there and he looks like he's freaking homeless.
Yeah.
But the dude, his wife's a billionaire. He owns part of the Atlanta Hawks. Like, dude, it just absolutely insane. But he literally looks homeless.
Yeah. He doesn't care. He's one of my favorite people on the planet.
He's the most authentic motherfucker you'll ever meet.
Dude, what a great dude. Now you're here mostly for Grant, but also for me, let's be honest. But Grant Cardone has his big 10X growth con.
Yeah.
What takeaways have you been able to capture from there?
So a lot of it is, relationships. So talking about relationships, in order to develop those relationships, you have to get in the right rooms. So that mastermind is a room, right? I got in the room. Then from there, it's how valuable is the room. And there was a guy that I went to the bathroom. I'd take a phone call. There's like the VIP section of bathrooms and a little section over there. I was pacing, so I ended up at the bathroom in the very, very back. So 4,500 people back. There's bathrooms way in the back, like literally the last row. It's probably $100 seat, compared to the $10,000 ones in the front. And I went to that bathroom, and a guy that actually from Arizona was like, Jason Payne. I'm like, what's up, man? How are you? No idea who he is. He's a realtor in Phoenix. And I was talking to him exactly about this. And I said, the back 3 rows, what's the net worth of the back 3 rows of that room? Maybe $1 million combined.
Right.
Now I'm judging, stereotype, but theoretically not much.
Right.
Now go to the front of the room, where I have personally shaken hands and talked to dudes that are doing 9 and 10 figures, whether net worth or in revenue, like gross revenue in their businesses.
Yeah.
Like there's multiple billions of dollars in the first 3 rows.
That's right.
And it was like, even just the bathrooms, the guys wearing the certain color lanyard, all those dudes paid $10,000 for a ticket.
Yep.
The guys in the back paid $100 to $500 for a ticket.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's not just the opportunity to develop the relationship is based off of the quality of the circle that you're in.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It's the same pay-to-play thing that we always talk about, right?
Yeah.
You paid $60,000 to be in the mastermind because you can meet me and more than me, but a handful of other people I'm sure have moved your needle over the years. Same thing for this event. You're paying $10,000 for the ticket. You probably are not alone. I'm assuming there's a handful of your team that's there.
My wife, my COO. Yep.
Right. And you are in the trenches, whether it's with Jared or Grant himself or, in the back room VIPs. It is the same argument I make about first class. Always fly first class.
Yeah.
Not because you want to feel cool or it's a flex or because you get free champagne. All those things are cool.
Yeah.
It is literally who you sit next to. It is. I've met so many. The Speaker of the House of Florida and I are friends now. He's second in charge of the whole state. There's the governor, there's the Speaker of the House. We are actual friends, hang out, smoke cigars together because I am flying first class and he is flying first class. How cool is that? What needle? I don't know where I'm going to be able to have a needle moved by that, but I'm damn sure at some point in our history, I'll make a call, he'll pull the trigger, I'll be able to do something in Florida that I wouldn't be able to get done.
And it's all you're doing is you're putting yourself in with an opportunity to create a relationship with someone of value.
100%.
And that's what it comes down to. And so that's every single thing I do from now on is first class. It's not a social status. I don't care. It's coach and dude, a plane's a plane. Let's private jet versus first class ain't that much cooler than coach. It's just not.
But
right?
even think about the private jet. Now there's a lot of convenience to a private jet, so I won't discount that.
Right.
But even then, you don't get to talk to anybody else besides the people you're with, and you're not expanding your network.
Yeah, your wife and your kiddos, right? Going on a plane. Who do you get to?
You can do that at home.
Right.
Now there's convenience, so I'm not going to take away from
No,
100%.
But not the convenience part, but the relationship part and the opportunity is, once again, look at the value of those in coach versus those in first class, stereotypically, right? And the one people in first class, they also have the same mindset as you do. Some are douchebags, right? Not all of them.
100%.
But some of them will genuinely be like, yo, what's up? Spark conversation. Especially if you're flying by yourself.
Yeah.
What's up, man? What do you do? And you start playing the name game. Then you're like, holy shit, no way, this is cool. Boom. 2 seconds later, or a 3-hour flight later, boom, there's a phone number and let's roll.
It's incredible, and I can tell you countless stories. But
sure.
Let's get into a little bit of the business. Now, you run a consulting business, but most impressively, you are running a very high-level, high-revenue roofing business out of Arizona. Right? State 48 Roofing.
Yes, sir.
And you built this thing up to roughly about $13 million in revenue.
Right now it's doing $1.5 million a month in revenue.
That's phenomenal. And when did you start that?
August of 2019.
Dude, this is 5 years now.
Almost 5 years.
So that's impressive in and of itself. What's the plan for this business? Where do you want to go with it?
So I'm going to do an evaluation at 25 mil and then see where it goes from there.
You want to exit it?
I don't know if I want to exit it, but I want to acquire. I really have just a passion to acquire other small businesses and or consult them.
So you are looking, and I love this, you're looking more not to sell it and have an exit. You are saying, I want to get enough revenue. I can either buy more roofing companies and or other companies because the revenue is so big, their money is so much.
Right.
I can acquire and systemize other companies in the same way I've systemized the roofing company, and I can go win 5 companies running at 25 million versus 1.
Once you do it once, you have the playbook. Plain and simple.
So what's the secret to building a 10 million a year plus business? What's been your secret?
It's funny as you mentioned that, relationships.
Shocker.
Right.
Fucking shocker.
We call them, so there are several different things. I didn't run an ad until 6 months ago.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No Facebook ads, no Instagram ads. I generated $3.1 million last year from free, organic, raw Instagram and Facebook. No
social
YouTube,
media,
no TikTok. I wasn't on either of those yet.
Social media.
Doing
this. Hey guys, I'm out at the next house doing a roof or whatever.
I'm up on a roof, man. Thing's a piece of shit. It's 20 years old. You have a house that's 20 years old. Give me a call. Click. Go to the website. Whoop. Done. Over and over. I have over 6,000 posts on Instagram from my iPhone.
That is incredible. If you are out there and you are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're a salesperson, roofer, it doesn't matter. You will gain business through simply using social media. So right. I call it 3 different circles of your social circle, right? So you have your inner circle, friends, family, really close, like
sure,
right? They're at your birthday party, they're at your funeral,
right?
Inner circle. Then you have the what I call like the outer circle, which is kind of the friends that you are good friends, close. You would invite them to birthday or Thanksgiving, right? Then you have your social circle. I call that the social media. Like you're at the gym. What's up, bro? You know,
DM only.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your Instagram. Cool shit. But there is a much bigger opportunity in that social circle to grow a business. And people aren't understanding the value of social media. Right.
Well, and the crazy part is the people in that third circle will refer you more than the first and the second circle combined, in my opinion. And they'll never transact with you.
Yep.
Like it's just a fact. Like my mom's never bought a roof from me, right?
No.
She has a roof.
Now, has she needed one?
Because
maybe that's why.
I guess I helped her do her addition. We did a roof renovation. But the principle of it, right, is like those close people, they know who you are, but the loyalty of followers that you can get from that social circle that you're talking about is so impactful because what you're doing is when you add value, one of our core values, add value and educate. Add value and educate. I have a guy, another roofer in Arizona. I'm like, dude, stop with he does these high-end, crazy-ass videos, and it's literally guys tearing it off the roof, putting it back on, and this kind of shingle and metal and blah, blah, blah. But like, there's no copy, nothing in the captions, and it's just showing a roof being torn off and put back on. High five. Like, you're not adding any value.
Right.
Like, just like a podcast, you're just talking to talk. Dude, give something that someone can take away that they can implement into their personal, professional, or financial life to better themselves.
Yep.
If not, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
It's something that is a core value for any business owner, really is if you offer value, then you get paid more.
Yeah.
You will earn as much value as you add. And unfortunately, there's a lot of business owners that are short-sighted. They want to be transactional. They want to do enough to complete the transaction and move on and go find another client. It is, and I don't know how it works in roofing, but it is infinitely harder to find new money, meaning new clients, than it is to treat the ones you already have well, provide value, and retain them.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars per lead, thousands of dollars, depending on your industry, for the acquisition, right, to acquire the client, or go reach out to the people that are already following you, that already love you, and say, who do you know?
Yeah.
Who needs this? Like, it's just crazy. Having a referral program is like mind-boggling to me. I'm like,
what's
these
your
guys.
Talk about our referral program. How do you implement it? What do you do? How do you incentivize them?
So our referral program is if you refer somebody to us, depending on the size of the ticket, but what it is, we'll send you cookies to your house. Even like, you'll be amazed. Be like, oh, it's all money. Like, dude, you'll be amazed. Maybe people don't want money.
Right.
Like, dude, I'll come inspect your roof and maintain your roof this year. Normally, it's a value of $695. We'll come do it for free. Not a problem. And you have a wife. Oh, you have a wife and kid, 2 kiddos. Cool. 4-pack of crumble or whatever cookie thing. There, dude, they beam, they glow, then they're taking a picture. They're posting it about you, like, organically for free.
Yep.
Right. It's absolutely insane. Depending on, we'll run promos. We're like, hey, do you want to make $500 if you refer us and we do your friend's house in this time frame? We'll give you a $500 gift card to the Great Wolf Lodge or the Princess or
Totally.
Somewhere to go do X and Y and Z. Somewhere where people are going to go anyways. And I could totally use that $50 or $100 or $500 towards that.
Yep.
So gift cards, heavy on the gift cards, heavy on the cookies, heavy on. I spend probably at least $2,000 a month on cookies.
Is that why you're doing 75 hard? Too many cookies in the office?
No, I send them. No, there's no cookies allowed at my office. No cookies. No, it's it's people just love it. They want to feel appreciated.
Right. They want to be seen too, right? They want to feel appreciated, seen. Interestingly enough, I'm going through an awful experience and I hit you up, about my roof. And a year ago, I'm still a year later, we just had a storm come through a week and a half ago.
Right.
My guest bathroom crumbles. I had my kitchen. So we replaced our roof because there was a leak. Replaced the whole thing. Tile roof. All of a sudden, 3-day rainstorm in Miami. Kitchen starts leaking. I just replaced the roof. He comes out, fixes it. This rainstorm last week or 2 weeks ago, literally my entire guest bathroom ceiling.
Dude, I saw your video.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Chive TV?
I have not.
Oh, dude, at my gym.
Well, I know of it, but yeah.
It's like a bunch of just funny and like crazy ass videos from
Did my video hit Chive?
It reminded me of Chive.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how bad it was.
Dude.
It wasn't like it's leaking. Like come fix it. Like holy shit, there's like buckets plural of water coming into this house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro.
So I'm dealing with a roofer who's just a piece of shit. Right? They don't do the right thing. They will never get a referral. In fact, my wife today is on with the city. We're trying to basically put him out of business because the reality is, yeah, it's his business. But if you treat people like me that way, I know too much about business. Like, this is your livelihood. You did not do the right thing from the start. You did a cheap job. He didn't use, and you'll know this, and the audience probably will, he didn't use hot tar. And so I have a flat deck that goes into the vaulted ceiling. And so it puddles. Yep. Because he did it the cheap way, which I think was just the paper way or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. The puddles were enough to start to leak again. It's the second time now, and I'm like,
and how old's the roof?
6 months old.
Funny, crazy.
He's already been out there twice.
Crazy stat. Ready? So, in the United States and Canada for the past 25 years, ROC is called the Register of Contractors, right? Those that are in the blue collar space. Register of Contractors is basically the police for contractors.
Yeah.
And if in the past 25 years, you get a complaint for doing stupid shit like this, right? Yeah. Ghosting people, taking their money, doing shoddy work, a lot of variables. And in the past 25 years, 21 out of the 25 years, roofing has had the number one complaints. 21 out of 25 years. At one point in time, it was 17 years in a row.
Oof.
Like, that is some good shit. Like, that is a record, like,
yeah,
in a very bad way.
In a bad way.
But like that's how. But you know what the crazy part is? It's in every single trade. That's why, like going back to the coaching, the consulting side is it's called sexy business status. Why? Because I want the status of your business to be sexy. The roofer that worked on your roof, his business is not sexy. It's garbage because he's giving you that kind of workmanship, which is also brings in a shitty warranty.
Yep.
Right, and then also shitty customer service. So shitty. You're 0 for 3. Like 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey, customer service, dude. This happened 10 days ago. He still hasn't been to the house. I had to hire another roofer to fix it, not completely, just to fix the area.
Man,
he hasn't even been. He was supposed to come today. He said, "Oh, sorry, the guy who I usually use for this isn't around." So I just told my wife, I'm like, I'm done. She calls the city. We're just going full tilt to just take him down because I'm not going to be the only person. Like, that's not fair for other families. So it's almost like my obligation to report him to say, hey, dude, you're going to go out of business because you haven't been in the house in 10 days after we've told you. We sent you the video. You just did this roof. Like, you can't even show up once.
Apart from interior damages. So imagine a homeowner or a family that's not, wealthy, for lack of better words, but they still need a roof. They got a roof. And then this happens. They're like, dude, I just paid tens of thousands of dollars to get my roof fixed. Now I got to hire another roofer. I don't have that money. Oh, by the way, now there's $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, maybe more of interior damages, right? Totally. And all that. And this guy literally just disappears.
He's freaking talking to my wife, but gives just excuses. And so anyways, I don't want to bogart the conversation, but that's just like, it's real life, right? So how do you create a business that has a reputation above beyond, and you can do the simple things that you're doing? And that's simple. Sending cookies, gift cards, showing up and giving yearly service, right? At no cost. Hey, checking in.
Yep.
If this guy would have done that, he wouldn't be in the position he's in.
Right.
Business owners especially underestimate the value of the service component. So I'm launching a tech space that's already launched, etc. Our number one mission right now is service first. Not sales first, service first.
Yeah.
Because if you have a happy client, they tell other people. That's why you've been able to do $3, $4, $5 million in a year, because they started telling other people, Jason, 48 Roofing, that's the guy that you need to go get your roof with.
One of our first core value is be obsessed with providing a 5-star experience. It's our first core value. Because what it does is it sets the standard for everybody, including the homeowners. Hey, like, we're obsessed with providing this experience. We also want that to be reciprocated. We want you to be a great client, not a royal D-bag, right? But like, be a great client. We're going to give you great service. We're going to have a great experience. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Right? Also keeps my crews in check.
Yeah.
Hey, was this a 5-star experience? Oh, it wasn't? Cool. You get a deduction of pay, or you go fix X or Y or Z for free. Why? Because I require my standards of 5-star experience. You just told me to give a 2 or a 3. So guess what? You get to go fix it and make it a 5 on your dime. Sales reps. You bid something wrong, you don't do it right, you leave out something for my production team and they can't fulfill it because the approval notes aren't synced up and they're automated, but like they just miss something, right? Replace a skylight, you do the entire roof, you miss a skylight. Rain comes, boom, leaks. Why? Because of skylight, because the sales rep didn't tell the production team to replace a skylight, but it's literally on the contract and they paid for it. So the sales rep didn't provide a 5-star experience. Boom, I get part of your commission to go replace the skylight and all the interior damages and cookies. But like, dude, when you truly understand that your reputation is everything, you will do anything to save it.
Anything.
Yes.
In just to keep it out of harm's way.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet is brutal, right? I mean, you go get a bad reputation on Google or Yelp. I mean, in case your business, I mean, you might still be able to exist and make some money, but you're never really going to go really anywhere, right? No. But you know what? All the things you're talking about is the same point that we brought up. Service is directly related to the people. You treat people right, you give them value, you love on them, you do the right thing by them, you, the business, will win in a massive, massive way.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the thing though, like, it all starts at the top though. It all starts with leadership. Like, if you don't have that standard and you're okay with like a 3 or a 3.5, maybe a 4-star, and you're okay with that, that means that you're, and by the way, just because you're a 5 doesn't mean your team's always going to be at a 5. If you're not at a 5, you cannot require them or expect them to give a 5.
It's like kids, like parenting.
Yes.
You can't get mad at your kid for doing something dumb when he sees you do the same damn thing every single time.
You drop the F-bomb in your house all the time, and your kid drops the F-bomb. Who, like, you're a fraud.
There's standards.
You're a hypocrite.
Right.
Yeah.
There's total standards.
And but we see that like in family and in marriages, but what about also in business? Are we being a fraud to our team members by not setting the expectation, right? Being consistent with the expectation and the standard, and then holding them accountable for it, because I can't hold them accountable if I'm not doing it.
One of my previous guests and a friend in Phoenix, Andy Elliott, right? He's big on pushing up early, working out, and he won't tolerate his employees not doing the same thing. Right. I say that because it's very incongruent when business owners say, hey, we need you to show up early every single day, 7 a.m., whatever, 8 a.m., something before the standard 9. But the owner walks in at 10:30, 11 with a latte and, you know, hey guys, how's everything fucking doing, right? And you're like, that's not congruent. You're not going to motivate your troops by you being the last in the office, regardless how big you fucking are, right? I mean, at some level, when you're Apple, fine. But, you know, when you're us, when you're, you know, 10 plus million a year, they need to see the guy in the trenches, right? The same way they are, because it's not big enough for you not to be reliant on the standard needs to start with you in leadership.
Right. My buddy Tommy Mello taught that on our stage. Actually, the one that you were at.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said something that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, as you get going, and he said, depending on your business and revenue, he's talking to blue collar guys mostly. He's like, when you pass that $5 to $8 million mark, where your company is kind of turnkey, where it's like you're not swinging the hammer, you're not, ordering you're not dropping off the dump trailer, you're not ordering the materials, you're not collecting it, going to the homeowner to collect a check. You have people doing that, and it's not turnkey, but it's hands free for you, physically. He said that is one of the biggest problems is the owner disappears. Stays home, doesn't show up on the office. Your team members don't see you in the office. They don't see you grinding. They see you making all this money. As we all know that with business owners, right? Cody Sanchez brought that up. It was really funny. She's like, yeah, all this stuff, like 3% profit. Like, shut up. But
by the way, that's very accurate.
Yes.
People that brag about the money, and I'm a victim of this. I did this earlier in my career.
Sure.
And I had all the things, the Maseratis and right? But I had 9% profit margin. 9. Multi-million company, 9% profit margin. It's a shit business for all those that don't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm fully in agreement.
Which is crazy because the roofing industry averages 90,000 roofing contractors in the USA. 90,000. Average net profit is 9%.
In my opinion, in a respect you have of this company, that's shit. Because that means that's what you're able to put in your pocket at the end of the year in distributions.
Right.
So if you do $10 million, you essentially have 90. Is that right? No, 900,000.
Yeah, you make $1 million. Yeah. 900 million.
I mean, at scale, I guess that's okay. But even then, you're doing all that work to build a $10 million a year business, and you're going to put 9, like, I want more.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, dude. I was like, oh, you're doing, like, why are you still putting pressure on your team members, and why are you trying to grow and scale more? Like, you're doing it, and you're making $1 million a year. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea the like, one bad thing happens, and you're done. You're done.
Yeah, and you better be saving those $900,000 paychecks because you're coming out of pocket to go fix this thing.
Right.
If you want to stay in business or you go out of business.
That's assuming you don't invest back into your business to grow it.
That's right.
So if you're living off $500,000 like I am, and I put the other half into marketing,
totally.
Just because I'm like, dude, I got 2 billboards, like just doing all kinds of stuff,
Growth.
right? Like I generated 6,000 leads last year.
Good for you, bro.
And it's like, but people, small business owners, we do not believe in marketing and advertising. We don't want to get on Instagram or Facebook because it's dumb or it doesn't work or there's not an immediate direct ROI that's traceable or trackable. And I'm like, dude, omnipresence, man.
Yeah.
Be everywhere.
Everywhere. You need to be investing in your business, right? All the time. That never stops. And, business owners just want to they want to ATM their business. They want to rip all the money out of it. And when the going gets rough, now what? Right.
Blue collar guys. You have an email list of 2, 3, 5, 10,000 people. You've never sent an email in your life.
Yep.
Like, worked for my uncle for a decade. He's actually closing his doors this year, so he's pushing probably 35, almost 40 years of roofing in Phoenix. Has never sent an email in his life.
I hope you're getting buying his book of business or something. I don't know what you can do.
I've entertained it, but I think the tainted part of it is just not worth it. But
fair.
But going into acquisitions, I was talking to you about, you're like, okay, cool, you get to 25 million, then what? The reason why I do 25 million, because that 10% profit, it's 2.5 mil. I can now self-fund my acquisitions of these little guys.
That's right.
And I can scoop up these $2 or $3 million companies. If I can get within 24 months and get 10 of them at $2 to $3 million a piece, I just went from 25 million to 50 million like that.
Yep.
And with in the revenue, because all the marketing is there, and all you're doing is plugging and playing your systems.
Yeah.
And it's like 24 months you can double your business, and not from 1 million to 2 million, from 25 to 50.
Scaling is easier when you buy the business versus trying to do it yourself. I'm a huge advocate of what you're doing right now, and I hope everyone rewinds what he just said, because you know what you're saying, I know what you're saying.
Right.
The common business owner is like, how do I get $1 million? Going and growing and building a business, literally bootstrapping it and hiring internally, there's a place for that. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but if you want to get to the front of the line faster, get your numbers to a place like you're talking about, so you can just go acquire others and you speed up this ability to get to that front of the line. Well,
and the other thing we talked about before too with relationships is the opportunity.
Oh,
if you're in coach, fly Southwest, there ain't no first class. So guess what? There's zero opportunity. Now you can talk to somebody left to the right, but that first class, that divider, right? The same goes for being able to acquire business. If you don't have the cash ready to rock and roll and there's a deal going,
right?
the boomers are going out of business like crazy. And 2 out of 10 of them own a small business. I forgot what it was, like 9 or 10,000 boomers retired daily, and 10 to 20% of them own a blue collar small business, and that's worth really nothing because they are the business.
Right.
But they have some sort of reach. They have some sort of email list, phone number, right? Something that you can literally just pop into your and then just run with it, and you can get that for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So they're doing $2-3 million in revenue. Cool, not a problem. Take it from 3 to 10, literally in 12 months, just by plugging and playing. Do that with 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. You literally just created an entire separate giant.
It doesn't even have to be big paydays. Payments. What I'm trying to say is you don't need to cut a massive check to go buy a business.
No.
I mean, we have friends that go do this shit without putting $1 into the business, and they acquire the business.
Yeah.
Right? And so I want people to also understand what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be you're going to go cut $1 million check to buy a business. There can be enough value in the transaction that business owner says it's better to be bought out by Jason than not because of everything that he's bringing to the business. Now, in some cases, they're going to say, just cut me the check and I'm out. Whatever, fine. Make the decision.
Installments. A lot of those guys don't want a fat check up front, taxes and other reasons. Be like, hey, no problem. Be like, hey, over the next 5 years, stay on for a year, 24 months, help me transition. Some people you don't need anything. Some of you might need 12 or 24 months. And so they're helping you there. Be like, hey, no problem. Be like, hey, what are you netting? Oh, you're netting 100. How about I pay you 150 for the next 2 years? Like, you're paying me $150,000. That's more than I've ever made in my entire life.
Right.
It's like, yeah, no problem. That'll go towards your payout of $1 million.
But it's folded under State 48 review.
Yes, but and I carry the note and we roll.
Yeah.
Right. And so you just keep doing that, and they're happy as a clam. And guess what? You can go on your 2-week fishing trip to Montana, and guess what? You can go to Rocky Point with your.
Which, if you're making $150,000 a year, you shouldn't be doing that. But that's beside the point.
Right. But I mean, you can literally be retired and you're still getting a check and be like, yeah, I'll get you a check for $10,000 a month every month for the next, 24, 36, 48 months, whatever it is. And share the note. There, you can get very creative. One of our other core values is creativity follows commitment. So the commitment's there for you and whoever you're acquiring, and you can bring both of those in. That is where the money is made, the chili is made. Because when you're both committed, the creativity to make the deal happen, you deal with this on a daily basis.
Real estate, yeah.
Yeah, it's like if there's no commitment from you, deal will never happen. Because the creativity, in order to make that deal happen, unless it's a simple A plus B equals C, most of them aren't. The good ones aren't.
Yeah.
Right? The good, those are already taken up. Right?
So you obviously are really passionate about this, and I know how long have you had your coaching program?
2 years.
Love that. Is this the kind of thing that the members of your program can be learning about building businesses, selling businesses, creativity, the core values, that kind of stuff?
I forgot who, I can't quote who it was, but they said the number one reason for you to own or start a blue collar business, a small business, no, maybe not the number one, but you have to have an exit. Nobody has an exit.
Nobody.
That's why my dad, flooring for 40 years, still not retired. What he literally doesn't know what his exit is.
Exit.
Other than maybe in a year and a half I'm going to hang it up. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You're going to hang it up? You were for 40 years? Like, where's your carrot, man? Where's your
lease is up? And
it's like the rainbow, but like it doesn't end. It's like, where's the pot of gold at the end? No, it's just a gorgeous rainbow that just keeps going, around the sun every 365 days. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, man, there's a pot of gold. And there's a freaking leprechaun, dude, a little redhead guy. Where is he? And as blue collar business owners, we don't see that because we were programmed and framed, in my opinion, that it doesn't exist in the blue collar space.
Well, I just don't think anyone was educated on it. That's it. No one talked about it. Now social media is so big. You have the Cody Sanchez's, Roland Frazier, and so many others that can talk to this, right? Dawson talks all about this kind of stuff. So now people are aware. Like, there can be a blue collar, like your dad could be selling off to a major floor or whatever. But again, define blue collar for me, because what I want to talk to is the mindset of it. What would be defined as a blue collar? Like, who are your clients in your coaching program?
So blue collar, so service trades, HVAC, plumbing, solar, roofing, There's a detach and reset for solar panel guy that I coach. Windows and doors. We're in Phoenix, so there's no siding and gutters in Phoenix, but like normally it's a 3 combo, right? Like here. But yeah, any of the carpet cleaning, pest control.
That's a great TAM. And if you don't know what TAM, total available market.
Total what?
Available market.
Yeah.
Right. Or total acquired market. Like essentially being how big's your audience? It's a great audience. That's a big ass audience that you can go out there and help these individuals.
And it's never going to go away. Yeah. Bots are never going to replace them. Yeah. Like the demand is always going to be there. You're like, COVID happens. Guess what, dude? I had record-setting year during COVID. Why? Because I'm essential, man.
100%. I mean, everyone needs a roof, right? The interesting thing, I was just asked what I believe in these, what are they called? These houses that are being done by machines. I'm blanking on 3D housing.
Yeah.
What a wild trip that shit is, right? Contractors are like, oh, people always need places to live, so we're just going to keep building. Dude, you have fucking machines literally framing an entire house by cement, essentially.
Right.
Now, you still need HVAC. You still need a roof. You still need the things that this machine doesn't
I actually saw
build.
not a robot, but a machine installing shingles.
No way.
I haven't seen it on a roof, but it just getting hit by ads and stuff like that on social media. And I'm like, cool. But somebody has to put it up there, type it in, dial it in, get the shingles there, do all that stuff. It's like
they're doing it
for safety. There's still business behind the machine.
There's no doubt.
But like tearing it all off and putting it into the dumpster, and like I'm like, say what you want. HVAC, roofing, plumbing,
there's no
electrical.
Way.
Dude,
Listen, 100 years from now, maybe.
I'm dead by then. Not my,
not
cool.
my issue.
Yeah, I'll let my kids deal with that shit later.
No
right?
doubt.
Like, but that's like real estate. Like, oh, you're gonna get replaced, and I'm like, the whole scare. What it was 2 weeks ago or whatever it was.
Right.
Wasn't the NRA? What's the real estate?
Oh, the realtor, the lawsuit that was settled for however hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're freaking out. They're like, you guys have to forfeit your commissions and this and that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm sorry. When has real estate changed in the past 100 years?
Yeah. No. I'm
not even in real estate.
This didn't change it. It just changed one little section of it, which didn't change anything. So it doesn't. So it's fruitless. So let's talk about your podcast, what you're doing and making an impact. You and I are both big on adding value. This is why this podcast is this.
Totally.
Your sexy business status podcast.
This guy right here. This one, as you can see.
Sexy.
That was roof status.
All right.
So what it is, I basically said, cool. I kept the colors.
Yeah.
Changed the logo. All I did was put hashtag sexy business status. Why? The status of the roof is sexy. It came from a lady in Sun Lakes, because you have a place, you're going to get a place or whatever in Scottsdale one day, right? So just south of that, 30 minutes, a place called Sun Lakes.
Okay.
55 plus community, probably 10,000 homes in there. Mm-hmm. And I was doing a roof for a lady, and she had a concrete tile roof, and it was old and outdated and the ugly terracotta, whatever. And she went back with the asphalt shingle, completely different color.
Yeah.
And we tore it off, put it back on, and she's like 85 years old. She's like months away from calling it quits. And she comes out and she's like, oh my gosh, that is a sexy roof. And I'm like, what'd you just say?
Right.
And like all of a sudden, when you hear something, you're like, oh.
That's it. There's my idea.
Bar, as we call it, right, my guys?
Yeah, it's a bar.
Bar, like that was a bar. That was a bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's an idea. And then an idea with action and implementation becomes a product.
There you go.
And that's what it is. And that became sexy roof status. I'm like, dude, what's the difference between that? It's like, take out roof, put it in business. Why? Once again, the status of your business is sexy. 95% of businesses are not sexy. They're garbage. They're shit. They're not well ran. They don't take care of their team members. And it's very, very frustrating. And I have PTSD from it, to be honest. That's why it's a huge trigger. You can see I'm getting all fired up.
Yeah.
Because I worked for my uncle for a decade and he freaking sucked.
Yeah.
He knows it. Show him the clip. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. So what are they going to hear on your podcast?
A lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of, and it can range from anything. So I bring on guests.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're in Scottsdale, come over, we'll hop on. But what I do is I give you a marketing tip. Right. We call them power partners.
Okay.
So relationships. Well, how do those relationships? Well, cross marketing. Well, what's cross marketing? Cross marketing. Well, I'm a roofer, and there's an electrician that's in the house that has a roof. So it's be buddies with the electrician. So not if, but when they see a roofing need, or the HVAC guy gets up to service the roof up on top of the roof, and he sees there's no granules on the shingles, and they're like, instead of saying, sucker, this roof's going to go to shit, but the HVAC's good. No. Hey, by the way, I have a buddy of mine, boom, go. Right? And so the cross marketing. So we teach marketing. We teach sales. I'll bring in my sales manager named Carlos. We call him CP3 because I have 3 Carloses. So we call him CP3, although he's like 6'7", not like little Chris Paul, 6'1" Chris Paul. But going over sales, we'll role play live with them.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, here's an objection. Like, oh, my wife's out of town, or I need to talk to my wife, and then we just role play and do objections. A lot of marketing, getting attention. I'm huge on truck wraps. I have 13 trucks that are wrapped.
Okay.
I have the best truck wraps in the state of Arizona.
Wow. That's a great marketing. Like you obviously are going after acquisition, and that is a great investment in your business, right? Is to go acquire more clients, because if you focus on what you do, which is the people and the value, your business will grow. And I think that's what they need to be ready to hear from you, is a lot more of that. Because if you focus on what Jason Payne focuses on, you can go from a 0 company to a $3 million company to a 13, and then turn that into a 25.
So I wrote a book.
All right.
Called 8 Phases to 8 Figures.
Oh, I like that title.
And that's literally what we do. Like how to build a 8-figure
Where can they get that book?
Business. Amazon.
8 Phases to 8 Figures. Jason Payne, the author. Make sure you cop that for sure.
Yeah, because the average business owner, small business owner, doesn't do more than $1.8 million in revenue, and 96% don't do more than 3.4 or something, over basically 3 million. So you're we call it the stuck.
Yep.
And I heard, I'm stuck. Will you help me? Hey, I'm stuck. Will you help me? Hey, I'm stuck. Will you consult me? And I'm like, you hear this word stuck? Like, how do I unstuck you?
Yeah.
And the magic number is anywhere from $500,000, but they get stuck between that 2 to 3 because that's a break point.
Yeah.
That my buddy Brandon talks about, right? And after 3, like they have to complete, like a snake. That's why I love snakes. That to completely shed their skin and rebuild themselves and reinvent themselves. Everything from leads to marketing to team members to. You can't just do it you can't just wing it and do it by yourself. You can't go do the leads and swing the hammer. You can to about 2 or 3 million, plumbing, HVAC, you name it. To about 2 or 3 million, you can like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You can fake it till then.
Nice.
And that's why most boomers, based off my studying, my research, most boomers never got over $3 million because they didn't create a business. They're just a high paid employee for 30 or 40 years.
That is very true. And that is, I still think for most, even if you're not a boomer, I don't even know how you define a boomer. I think most people just create a high-paying job for themselves.
Yes.
I think most audience members that are listening to this or watching this on YouTube still likely have a high-paying job for themselves and don't truly have an exit.
And most of in my personal opinion, I believe that it's because they do not know how to manage people.
I don't think you're wrong. I think, leadership is a different skill set than management.
Totally.
And I think people get ingrained in management and managing KPIs and managing the sales numbers and managing client
spreadsheet
costs.
That doesn't have doesn't have a heartbeat.
That is not the same as leadership. And people don't practice, flex, or work out their leadership muscle. And it's a muscle just like anything else. And this brings me to the next. Joining masterminds, paying for coaching. If you don't know or don't follow Jason, make sure to follow Jason at Jason the Roofer. Because you can help small business owners change their mindset, change their tactics, change their leadership style, right? Because this is a big issue, in my opinion, in our spot is the leadership role.
Totally.
That some people are inherently a great leader. People just follow them, right? You know those people.
Totally.
You're likely one. I'm one.
Yep.
They will just follow us because we are that. But even then, just like LeBron says, or even Colby, right? You can innately have the skill, but if you aren't practicing, you're never going to be the great. You're never going to be the GOAT. You're never going to be the top half of 1%. Fuck the 1%, top half of 1%.
Right.
Because you're not harnessing the muscle that needs to be flexed. So I couldn't agree more with that whole point.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to is like the leadership of people. If you can learn how to work with people and manage people, game over.
That's it.
Because you can hire other like people to run your KPIs and your management and your back end stuff, but like you as the business owner, you need to be in charge of your people. They need to know that you care. They need to know that you value them. What's in it for them. We don't sell as small business guys. We don't sell them on the vision. We tell them we want to do this, but that's my vision, not their vision.
Yep.
And so we call them PPFs, right? Personal, professional, financial goals. Like what makes you tick?
Yep.
A Lambo. I saw a Lambo. It's probably yours. Lambo or whatever downstairs. And I'm like, I don't get off for that.
Sure.
It's like, oh, Lambo, like, oh my gosh, the Lamborghini. Like, do I give two shits about? I drive a big truck.
Yeah.
Right. Why? Because I can jump curbs. You can't jump curbs in Lambo.
No doubt.
I suck at parking.
You can try, it won't work.
Yeah. You'd be very disappointed.
Yeah.
No, but like some people, like, I want a big $8 million house. Like, dude, I don't freaking care about a house, but I want X.
Yeah.
Like, you need to figure out what makes your team members
100%.
And you won't know that unless you ask them and say, cool, let's help you accomplish that. Do these things, and I'll help you accomplish that. In return, you're going to, Zig Ziglar quote, right?
Yep.
Help is, oh gosh, I'm going to butcher it. If you help other people in life get what they want, you'll get what you want.
That's right.
Talk about words. But yeah, and that's what it comes down to. So like that's one of my biggest things is grow. You said, hey, how do you grow a $10 million roofing company? Dude, you
get people what they want.
Get people,
and you'll get
people, find what they want, show them how to get it, show them on paper. Now, like, we're going to give you all these things to do. The verbal stuff is the biggest way to go out of business. On paper, here's how I'm going to show you how to be successful, how to make money, how to be a better dad. Here's how to be a better spouse. Because if you cheat, just like Andy Elliott says, right? Yeah. My boy Andy, you cheat on your spouse, you're gone.
Yeah. In
2 seconds. Not even trying. I don't care what position you're in.
Right.
You cheat on your spouse because you'll cheat on me way easier than cheat on your spouse.
100%.
Yeah. And that's a true thing. So the way I see it in building your people up is you're like physically, right? Like somebody has a little pooch. I'm like, dude, cool, no problem. What are we gonna do to get rid of that? That bugs me. You make me look bad getting on a roof or knocking on a door because you have that. That is me. I'm your cute little belly. Get it. Right. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? You take your shirt off and your wife's like, oh my gosh, I love the belly. No, fucking nobody does that, man.
Yeah.
Right? So are you being a good dad? Are you being intentional about being a dad? Or are you that douchebag dad that works 80 hours a week and has all the nice shit, but you're not being intentional with your kids?
Right.
So like I want you to be a dad, a great dad, not a good dad. I want you to be a great dad. I want you to be a great spouse. I want you to show me on your calendar where date night is every single week, right? Buddy Sean Whalen, you know Sean obviously, right? Like he has date night every single Wednesday, religiously, out of town, in town, kids, boom, bye. Me and Sax, we're rolling, right? And when you can do those two things, and then obviously the financial part, like help them get their goals, their first, buy a house, get a Lambo, get a second home, whatever that looks like, get out of debt, right? Maybe get their first $1,000 in the bank account, right? You're starting small. When you can hone in on your team and their goals in that way, you will have unrecruitable employees.
That is a hell of a way to end this episode. I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Guys, make sure you are watching his podcast, listening to his podcast. Follow him on Instagram, Jason the Roofer. This is a great episode, bro.
Appreciate it, dog.
Appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. That is it. Make sure you are liking this. Make sure you are sharing this. And this is my man, Jason Payne. Appreciate you. Later.
Thanks, dog.